Pisces, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and this is going to be a general reading for you, and there's no date on the reading. I trust that when it comes into your feed, it's meant for you. Today's reading, I'm going to be using the Ehrenberg Tarot, as well as the Radiant Rider-Waite. And we're going to be doing a reading today called Embrace Your Anger. I've had a number of new subscribers on my channel, and I also know that maybe some of you aren't aware of my background and why I actually started my tarot channel in the first place. So when I started my tarot channel, I always wanted my channel to be something that was healing and that would help my viewers go on their own personal journey, their own healing journey to get back to their authentic self. I myself have complex trauma, and I am a survivor of sexual abuse and trafficking in my own family. And through the last almost 8 years that I've been healing intensively, healing my own shadow, healing everything that I've repressed, all my memories from childhood, they're all repressed. And I've really come to find out how powerful anger is in our life, how powerful of an emotion it is if you can understand how it works in your own life. For me, anger has been an emotion that I have used in a very ungrounded way before my intensive therapy. I'm a retired teacher of 30 years in Canada, and I also have 3 adult children that I've raised, and I used my anger quite a bit in both of those situations, but it wasn't a grounded anger. It was a very ungrounded anger. And I've come to learn that when you repress your anger, when you push it down, it spills out over, around people that are safe to you. And unfortunately, they're the ones that we hurt the most. And the reason why I suppressed my anger was because I was taught by my abusers in my life to not use my anger. And I was actually shown in a number of ways what would happen to me if I used my anger. And so I had this incredible fear around ever using my anger. And I was taught to put it away and to never, ever take it out. And so it was definitely an emotion that was repressed in me. It was very ungrounded. And after when you do rage and you have these explosions, you can't understand where it's coming from because you just know it's not you. And so I had to learn in my intensive therapy to use my anger again. It was not something I wanted to touch because I was absolutely petrified to use it because I know deep down what was going to happen to me if I tried to use it. And so as I worked through a lot of my memories, and I continue to work through my memories, I had to incorporate anger at the people that hurt me. And I did it through my journaling, and that's how I got to my anger, was through my journaling. And that's how I released my grounded anger so that my own anger is no longer in a place where I'm going to rage at people. I just know that because I've grounded my anger. And so this reading is really a reading for you to learn to start to recognize what pattern or situation is creating anger in your own life right now. And a lot of times we're not aware of it, but we just know that, there might be this anger brewing underneath. And sometimes we don't even think we have anger, and it continues to spill out on other people. And that will really definitely tell us that we have some ungrounded anger. I want to look at how your own ungrounded anger is manifesting in your life, in your daily life, how you're seeing it. And that'll be really important for me to bring awareness to that for you. And then I want to look at what are you afraid of will happen if you express your anger. And finally, I'm going to look at how you can begin to release or express your anger in a grounded way. So I'm going to ask for some advice from the tarot, and then I'll give you a little bit of my own advice at the end. I might give you a playlist from my other channel, Carol Cares, where I've put out some information on anger. I have some excellent videos that I've put out, and so you can take a look at those to help you out. So let's get started on your reading. I'm going to ask for one card to tell me what pattern situation is creating anger in your life right now, Pisces. So one card, please. There we go. The Knight of Pentacles. And how does your repressed anger, your ungrounded anger, manifest itself in your daily life? How's it showing up? How's it coming out? You have the Seven of Swords. Oops, Seven of Swords. And what are you afraid will happen if you express your anger? One card for that one. Seven of Wands. And how can you begin to release or express your anger in a grounded way? Sideways. You have the Ace of Cups. All right, we'll get some quick clarifiers for you so we can get on with your reading. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles. A couple of clarifiers for that, please. You have the Emperor card and the Queen of Pentacles. Seven of Swords. A couple cards for that. Whoa! That is so cool how that all came out in order and everything. It was just like it fired it. Wow, that's never, honest to God, that's never happened. And so, Five of Pentacles in reverse. King of Swords, Queen of Swords. We got the King and the Queen battling it out. Huh. And the World card is sideways. Interesting because you have the King of Queen here. And you'll see how I'm going to talk about that. And then you've also got the Emperor and the Queen over here. So very much masculine and feminine battling it out here. That's fascinating. We'll see how that's going to turn out. Seven of Wands, couple cards. Those were quick to come out. You have the Page of Cups in reverse and the Magician card sideways. Ace of Cups in reverse, sideways actually, a couple cards for that one. And you got the Wheel of Fortune, sideways, and King of Pentacles in reverse. Another masculine king figure here. Okay, so let's start. What pattern situation is creating anger in your life? We start off with the Knight of Pentacles. And do you have any other knights in here? You have one. Nope, that's the only one. Okay. So the knight in my deck is what I call a freedom fighter. It's an adolescent part of us. We all have this part that wants freedom. And think of an adolescent, how they don't want to be controlled and they want to be real. And so I'm thinking right now there's this part of you, and it's the Pentacle here. So the Pentacle talks about our health, our wealth, our self-worth. And so there's this part of you that's really wanting to get free from, I'm going to say if I'm looking at what your clarifiers are, definitely control, oppression. So I'm kind of wondering, I'm wondering if you're living in a situation where you are feeling controlled, where you are controlled and you're wanting some freedom. And you're wanting, and it could be like let's say if it's a situation where it has to do with your health. You could be in some sort of, had a diagnosis of something. You could be battling something with your health for so long, and it's like, I want freedom from this. Like, I'm so tired of this, because it really can take over everything and it becomes your life. You know, it could be something where it's your financial situation. It's the Pentacle. So it could be your financial situation and you're struggling with that. And there's just some anger brewing. Believe it or not, our financial situation, and I had to find this out the hard way, our financial situation is related to past trauma. And you know, there's a reason why sometimes if we're struggling to get ahead, or if, you know, it doesn't matter what we do, we're struggling with our finances. So there could be something there. And so you're really, there's this pull for freedom from something that wants to bring you towards your true self and what is really meant for you, right? And not to be kind of stuck in this situation. And that's where the anger is coming out, I think. It's creating anger in your life right now, whatever this situation is that's pulling you, where you're wanting freedom from it. And you have the Emperor coming out here and the Queen beside each other. This is our first battle between the masculine and the feminine energy. So the first Emperor card is really masculine energy. It's number 4 in the Major Arcana. It talks about this Emperor who's been sitting on this cement chair for this seat for a long time. It's made out of stone, and he's not budging. Because he has a city behind him that he rules. And he has created these imaginary rules of society that he knows that everybody's going to follow. And so I think there's these imaginary rules that you're following for some reason that is preventing you from getting yourself free. There's this part of you that wants to get free from this oppression. But because you're following these rules that you've always been following all your life, and it's, you know, that's just the way it's always been, and you've never really stopped to kind of question, go, are these my rules? Like these rules that continue to follow, that I'm not supposed to do this, I'm not allowed to do this. Well, are they your rules? Are they? Whose rules are they? And the Emperor is sitting here going, no, you need to stay where you are. Keep doing whatever it is that, you know, that you're doing that's frustrating you, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. And sometimes, you know, it could talk about our job. Maybe you're in a job that you're just absolutely frustrated with, you want freedom from, and because the Pentacle can talk about our job. And so maybe you're in a situation where it's like, no, you're meant to stay here. Maybe you're in a situation where you've carried on your job because that was in your family and that's what you were told you were supposed to do. That's what you were told you had to do. And it just kind of fell in your lap, and it's like, and you're hating every minute of it, but nope, that's what you have to do. That's what you're told you were supposed to do. And then you have this Queen of Pentacles right here, and she's the feminine side to us. And so we have this masculine side and we have this feminine side, and we'll get to it again right here in the next part. And it's two sides of us, and it has nothing to do with our gender, but our masculine side is the ego, right? So it's the ego here, Mr. Emperor, that will continue to say, nope, you got to do what you're told. You got to follow these rules that you were, you know, raised with. Society told you, these imaginary rules. And then you've got this queen that sits behind, that's in battle with this Emperor right here. She's the feminine side to us. She is the part, she's holding the pentacle. She's the part that's very grounded in her body. Our masculine side keeps us up in our head, where we keep spinning in our head and tell ourselves all these things. Nope, you're not allowed to do that. Nope, you're not, you know, society says no. That's the masculine side. And then she comes in, she says, wait a minute here. What about this pentacle? What about this pentacle? You opened up with pentacles. What about this pentacle? It's your body. Have you forgotten about this part of you? Have you forgotten that you can ground into that body? And that's where your intuition is. That's a beautiful feminine quality. That's your inner knowing. You know, there's this thing about getting into your body. That's where your emotions are. Oh, so you can start feeling this, you know, you can start feeling these emotions. You can start feeling some of that anger. Get at that anger, because whatever the situation you're in that you want freedom from, there is a hell of a lot of anger that's sitting there brewing because you're in this situation that you want freedom from, that you're feeling controlled somewhat to be in it. And, you're hearing in your head that you can't get out of it. And so, of course, you're angry. You're freaking angry. And that's what's coming out, and that's where this anger is. And believe it or not, that's why you're sitting in this situation. Because the beautiful universe is trying to bring awareness to this and going, listen here, you're sitting in this situation right now, whatever it is you've determined at the beginning, because you need to bring awareness. You need to get angry. You need to get angry if you want to bring about any change in your life, because I think you're feeling quite stuck. And if you want to bring out any change, well, you got to get at this anger because it's brewing here. This is why you're sitting in this situation. So how does your repressed, your ungrounded anger manifest itself in your daily life? What's happening? Because it's repressed. So how is it coming out sideways or not? Like, what's going on? Well, we start off with this Seven of Swords. Look at this individual. Look what they're doing. They're hiding behind masks. You're pretending to be someone you aren't. And the Seven of Swords talks about this individual. It's called the Thief card. And he's stolen all these swords. He's running away with 5 of them. 2 of them are planted in the ground, but the ones he's running away with, he's holding them in his hand. Like, our swords represent our mental thoughts, what we think about ourselves, what we've been told from people growing up, right? What we've been told by society growing up that we were supposed to not do or supposed to do. And we continue to live by that. And so you've continued to put these masks on as you've gone in your life because that's what you were supposed to do. I'm supposed to be in this job. So I'm going to put this mask on and pretend that I'm loving my freaking job every day when I hate it. I hate getting up in the morning and knowing I got to go. I was a teacher for 30 years. And, I can tell you there was a big part of my life that got up in the morning and put that mask on, that teacher job mask, because it wasn't something I really loved every day. It was tough getting in front of a bunch of high school kids every day and fighting those energies every day, especially because I was full of trauma that I didn't know I had, right? So imagine that going on when I'm pushing all of that down and then I'm trying to deal with this job that you're trying to do. Just think about that. If it's a job or even your health, and whatever the situation was right here, you've put on masks and you've put on that pretend face, and you because you're carrying around all these thoughts in your head that say, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm not supposed to do. And so, and that's why you have this masculine energy and this king and queen coming out, because the king is our ego self, and it'll tell you to keep carrying those masks. It does not want you to take those masks off. It wants status quo. It wants nothing to do with authenticity, getting to your emotions, touching this anger. Are you kidding me? It'll say, you keep that mask on. But there's a part of you that's peeking around that wants to come out of that mask. And so let's look at some real clarifiers about you putting on these masks and how you repress, how it's coming out in your life. Well, the 5 of Pentacles comes out first of all. And we talked about the pentacle being your self-worth. It's all about your body and how you feel about yourself, your image. The image that you present to society right here. This card in an upright position is about these individuals that walk by this church and they don't feel worthy enough to even go into this church and ask for some help. They're not even looking at it. And they need to. They're walking in the snow with bare feet. They're not even feeling worthy enough. Look what it's done. You have put on this mask to block your self-worth, to block your unworthiness that you feel. You have so much unworthiness that you're blocking right now. And it's around this whole situation that you're in right now. You have this incredible unworthiness, but you've got this King of Swords right here, and it's your ego self, and it's blocking you, and it wants nothing to do with this sword. The sword is your authenticity. It's your truth. It's who you are, and it wants nothing to do with it. And I've already said that. And the fact that you have this King of authenticity, especially when you're trying to cover up everything right here, it's incredible how much your ego self is blocking you from going towards your true self. And then you get this Queen. She's fighting, she's battling, she's in an upright position, which is good, because that means she's not giving up. Fascinating that they both have a sword in their hand. This Queen, this feminine side to us, is all about authenticity. She wants you. She wants you to get back into your body. She wants you to, fight off this ego self of yours that wants you to continue thinking you have to put masks on to go into society and be someone else and do something else. And pretend that, everything's okay. I think there's a real fighting part of you. I can feel it. I think your feminine side's wanting to pull you towards that. And then you've also got the Knight there fighting, your freedom fighter, that's wanting to get you towards your true self, right? There's a reason why you're peeking out behind this mask. I think it's time for you to get towards your true self, and it's fighting. It's fighting to come forward here. And then you get this World card that's kind of sideways here. It's wanting closure. The World card for me can be a lot of things, but I think there's some closure that's really needed here. I think you want closure. I think you want some change. We can talk, the World card is the end of a cycle as well. Like, it's the last card in the major arcana, and it's like, I think, maybe you're at your wit's end. I think you want change. You've had enough of this bullshit of, whatever it is that is been taking over your life, and hiding behind the mask and pretending you're freaking happy when you're not, and pretending that you're someone else when you're not. I think it's time. I think you want change. And so what are you afraid of? What will happen if you start to express some of this anger, even a little bit of it, because you're angry. You're a very angry person underneath all of this, and you have a right to get angry. It's a beautiful emotion that's going to bring about change for you, but you're so scared to even look at this. Here's the Seven of Pentacles here, or Wands. This is my favorite card in the deck because it reminds me of me. Look at this individual. I love this deck because it takes a shot, a close-up of a piece of the Rider-Waite deck. So this would be the individual that's standing up on that pedestal, and all these people are, with their wands saying, "You come down from there." And this individual is standing alone. Reminds me of me on my own journey. And look at the shoes. I don't think people realize the shoes on this individual. They don't give a shit about what shoes they're wearing. They just picked up any shoes and put them on. They're not afraid. Here's you right now putting these masks on because you're afraid. There's fear there, and that's okay, because the fear can block your anger. We can go back and forth. But this one's like, no. This one's coming out. This is the non-conformist. I'm not conforming to what society has told me all along that I'm supposed to follow. We talked about those rules here. And I think you're really afraid that if you come out and you start to, feel this anger, look at this anger, touch this anger, there are going to be people down below that are going to say, "You come off that pedestal." They're not going to support you. In fact, they're probably going to abandon you again, because when you were younger, when you came out and you tried to express your anger, you would have had people that said, "Who do you think you are? You're too big for your britches. Get off that pedestal. Go in that corner, because then they humiliated you and rejected you and maybe even abandoned you and told you to go into your room and stay there for hours on end, because you weren't allowed to be your authentic self when you showed that anger. And you learned at a very young age, I don't matter. I'm unworthy. I don't matter. Well, you're afraid. You're afraid that that's going to happen to you. You're afraid if you take that out, that whole scenario that happened to you when you were younger is going to happen again. And here's the little Page of Cups that proves exactly what I just said. This little page is blocked right now. It's an inner child of yours. I call this little page, he's holding the cup of emotions, the cup of love. It is the most powerful inner child that we can have. It's the most powerful inner child in the deck. It is the child that causes the most chaos in your life. It is a part of you, your inner child, that is desperate, actually absolutely desperate to get the love that they didn't get when they were younger. They are so afraid that if they show their anger, that people are not going to love them anymore, that people are going to not accept them anymore, that people are going to show their disapproval and they're going to get angry at them. And so it's held all your big emotions of anger and grief. It needs healing. And I do that by journaling. I give them a voice. I give my inner children a voice. I journal from them. I do it on a computer, and I spew out all my anger. I spew out everything that this person said, this little child of mine says. I am afraid to get angry because people are going to leave me. People are going to reject me. Nobody's going to love me. Those are all the things that your little love seeker needs to tell you. What happened to you when you were younger, when you expressed your anger? And this little love seeker holds all your answers. This little love seeker is the reason why you continue to put these masks on right here. Because it's so scared that if you show your true self, like we said, people aren't going to love you. You're going to lose people. You're afraid. Magician card comes in, which is really interesting as a card to come out for what you're afraid of here. And you know, the Magician card is a card that is like the manifestation card. It's the one that says you can manifest anything in your life that you want to. And it's true. But this particular magician can do it because they're grounded. Look at the rod. It's like a lightning rod. They hold up their wand and they hold it up to the sky. And they're like a lightning rod where they have the divine power, whatever you want to call it, God, source, creator, universe. That power comes through and it gets grounded into the earth. It's not a power that they keep and they hold to themselves. And so they're very much a manifester. They're very much, it's very much an individual that says, you have everything in you. You have everything in you right now to do this, to express your anger and to allow your inner child to express. But there's a big part of you that doesn't believe that you can do this. There's a big part of you that's really afraid to do this. And that unworthiness is definitely part of this, where it's like, I can't do this. I don't think I can do this. But this magician is saying, you have everything in you. I was told that when I first started my therapy, my intensive therapy almost 8 years ago. I was told that, and I didn't want to hear it. My therapist said to me, she's my life coach, I call her, and she said, you have everything in you, Carol. I'm like, I don't frickin' want to hear that. I didn't feel like I had everything in me. I didn't. And I was very much someone who hid behind masks because I was very unworthy. I didn't think I was worth it. I didn't think I deserved all of this. I didn't think I deserved anything. I didn't think I deserved to put myself first to go on my own healing journey. I didn't think I had everything in me. You kidding me? Now I do. Because I've been on my own intent. I've been healing quite a bit. So yeah, I have it. I got to take a drink when I said that. How can you begin to release or express your anger in a grounded way? Ace of Cups sideways. Here's the Ace. An Ace is an offer, gift from the universe. It's the Cups. It's an offer. It says, here you go. Here you go, Pisces. Are you ready to feel? I'm giving you this gift. You ready? You gonna take it? You gonna take this offer? Are you gonna take this offer to feel? Are you gonna take this offer to put yourself first? I know you have a lot of resistance here to going inwards. I know you have unworthiness. I did too. Excuse me, I know you don't feel like you have it in you. I didn't either. But now it's saying, here you go. Here's another chance. You do have the World card here. We did say that you wanted change. This is change. Beautiful change for you. It's now time to feel some of this anger. And then you get the Wheel of Fortune. It's not sure which way to go. It was sideways. Wheel of Fortune is the wheel of life, right? It's these circumstances happen, circumstances change. This represents usually a change of circumstance, but it's sideways here. It's like these emotions, feeling this anger, you're in charge. I just said you have this Magician card. You have everything in you to feel this anger and to bring about change, to change your circumstances that you're sitting in over here. You have everything in you. It's all in your power. It's amazing, right? I know you have it in you because you're poking out an eye here. You're ready. You're ready to dip your toe in that water. Then you end with your ego again. And, you know, when you learn how to ground into your body, and I have some beautiful videos on my other channel called Carol Cares on how to ground into your body. I teach you how to do it. I bring you into my backyard and I teach you how to ground. That's how I learned how to ground my own body. I had no idea what it meant to ground into your body. I didn't know what that meant, to get out of my head and get back into my body. When you learn to ground your body and start to feel that anger and get in touch with that anger, you're going to have this king, this ego self, this king of pentacles that would love to keep you in that place of unworthiness. That's going to, you know, keep on telling you these things about how unworthy you are. Wants nothing to do with emotions, petrified of emotions. And it has the pentacle. It wants nothing to do with you getting back in your body and starting to feel some of these emotions. Because that's where our emotions are. They're in our body. They're not in your head. This control, I call it controller, but I call it an ego because it's mainstream psychology, but myself, I call it my controller. This, sometimes it'll come out. And this ego self of yours will come out and say, you know, no, I'm going to keep you distracted in your head. I'm going to keep you up in your head. I'm going to keep you, I want you to keep wearing these masks. Put that mask back on, right? You're not going into your body. And so you really need to be aware of that. And I will have to, when my ego comes out, or my controller, since I've already revealed it in this reading, my controller will come out. I will have to write from it. So I write from my controller. I will say, don't you dare express your anger. Don't you dare go there. That emotion is dangerous. It's going to eat you alive. Because this is what the ego thinks it's going to do. I think it's going to take over you. Did we have the Seven of Cups in this? No, it was in another reading. But it's petrified that it's going to take over. And so you have to write from that as well. Because they need to be heard. Our ego self is a part of us. It's not our true self. It's just a part of us. But we need to respect that, you know what? It has a voice too. So I'm going to leave you with a playlist on anger, and it also has a video in there on how to journal from your own anger. I think it's really important you learn how to journal. And ground, you can get to some grounding videos as well if you go to my channel, my other channel. And then I'm going to leave you with the video I did for you about conquering your fears before this one, in case you hadn't have a chance to see it. And Pisces, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through here. A lot of emotions coming up. Beautiful reading for you. I loved how it flowed. It's not beautiful in that there's a lot of work here that, you got to do. But, this is the hardest journey of your life to heal yourself. But it's the most important one. And I'm on it. And so I hope that you continue to get on it and stay on it and feel some of this anger that you need to feel. Take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.